Hello and welcome! So it's been a while since we did the last Link Evolution video for Yu-Gi-Oh! But I've been working on getting some of the cards together and thought why not do a Red Eyes build, since Red Eyes is a pretty popular card and our Blue Eyes video did so well. I thought why not, this could be a lot of fun, plus I had a few people request it, so I thought this would be a good opportunity and a good time, especially considering there is meant to be an update coming for this game sometime this year. We're expecting sometime after April, when the whole Master Rule changes take place, and that will incorporate a lot of new stuff, and hopefully that'll be really cool. But for now, this is a pretty alright Red Eyes deck that I've been messing around with, and it seems to do okay. It is based off one that I found online from about November last year, or 2018, sorry. Of course, you want to run the standard triple Red Eyes package. We are running a triple Summon Skull, as that does work well with our Fusion package. Then we've also got an Assault Wyvern, since it does special summon one Dragon Monster from a hand or graveyard except Assault Wyvern upon its tribute, which of course is when you battle a monster. So this is actually really good for getting over a small defensive monster and then tribute summoning into a bigger dragon monster that you can then easily attack with, especially since it does summon from grave as well, so really effective there. We've got one Black Metal Dragon. You can target one Red Eyes monster you control, equip this monster from your hand or field to that target against 600. If the card's sent to the field to the graveyard, you can have one Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand. A really good tutor card, plus the fact that it gives us an extra boost is alright. And it's a good one-of. We're also running one Dark Arm Dragon, since we are running basically an entire Dark package for this deck, which you'd expect to run in a Red Eyes deck. This card fits really nicely as well. The new ban list actually does allow for 3 for competitive play, but because this runs off a much older ban list style, we are still limited to the 1 if you want to use this deck in competitive, which is how I've designed all my decks. But if you're just playing through story, you can actually put 3 of whatever you want in, and it works quite well. We are running a Destiny Hero engine in this deck. Not that I've used it too much yet. We are only running the 2 Destiny Hero Diamond Dudes, and we're running 1 Elemental Hero. This does work okay, although it could work better. The Destiny Hero plus the Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, mainly running for a Dark Law, which I haven't actually had a chance to mess around with yet, so maybe we'll see that in this video when I start doing some matches. But it's fun, it seems to work okay, and that's a good thing. Keeper of the Shrine, really solid card, of course, can be tributed summoned as a single for 2, so that's really good for the Dragon type monsters, especially if we need to summon something out. Typically, though, I don't tend to like to manually summon. You're better off special summoning in a lot of cases. Then, of course, whilst cards in your hand or graveyard, fight some Dragon Monster on the field, except Keeper of the Shrine is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, or because it was destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card. Then, if you do, of course, that's really the main function. If that monster's sent to the graveyard, yeah, you can add 1 Dragon type monster, normal monster, from your graveyard to your hand. You can also use the effect of Keeper of Shrine once per turn, which is fine. This card actually is really good as a defensive wall. If you draw it in your initial hand, you can use it as a 2100 defense wall, and that's actually quite solid. Otherwise, you're mainly looking to use its effect to special summon and get cards from your grave back to hand. Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact, so one of the other support Red Eyes cards that were added. This card is a Gemini monster, so of course, normal monster, and then you can special it to, well, normal summon it again to get its effect, so it's pretty generic, that first paragraph, and that's similar for the next card as well. But the main thing you're focusing on, when this card is summoned after already being summoned, you get the other Red Eyes monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. And then Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon, of course, you get the standard effect, which gives you all the summoning mechanics, same as the other one, because it is another Gemini monster. If damage calculation is performed involving this card at the end of battle phase, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's original attack. That's actually really nice. You can only use the effect of Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon once per turn. So being able to inflict damage equal to its original attack is good. Yeah, so that's really solid, and it's another Red Eyes monster, so that works. This deck could be better, of course, I'm sure, especially with things like Red Alternative that were added later. Hopefully when they do some changes, I'll be able to come back and revisit this, but Red Eyes Darkness Metal, one of course, you can special summon this card from your hand, banishing 1 face-up Dragon type monster you control. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 Dragon type monster from your hand or graveyard, except Red Eyes Darkness Metal. This is actually a pretty standard card in any Dragon build. Actually, I've been playing physical Yu-Gi-Oh! Lately and been going to some tournaments, and I really want to get one of these for my Rocket deck, as it is really solid in any Dragon build. You can run it anytime you want. It's really easy to play, and of course, being really solid as a Dark Dragon, it works in a lot of Dragon builds in particular, but it's basically a free monster reborn at that point. Then we have Blackstone of Legend. This is kind of your big card. This is the one that's going to allow you to play any of your dragons however you would like. Being able to special summon E7, level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck, except Black Chick, of course. Oh. If this card... Where was it? If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, except Red Eyes Black Chick. Shuffle it into your deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. You can only use one Blackstone of Legend effect per turn, and only once that turn. So you're really relying on using this as an effective engine card, being able to pull cards onto the field from basically wherever you need them, and of course being able to use this from your graveyard to recycle cards. So now we get into the spell section. A hero lives. A hero lives. If you control no face-up monsters, pay half your life points. Special summon one level 4 or lower elemental hero from your deck. It's a one-off card since it's a word that to run. And this works really nicely to get, of course, Shadow Mist out. And that's really all you're using it for. Cards of the Red Stone. Send one level 7 Red Eyes monster from your hand to the graveyard. Draw 2 cards. Then you can send one level 7 Red Eyes monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate this once per turn. So this is actually an alright card if you're looking to cycle out some Red Eyes cards. In particular, any of your normal things that you want to get in the grave work pretty well. Destiny Draw, since we're running 2 Destiny Dude Diamonds, we can run this card, discard, draw 2 cards. The Diamond Dudes are actually really good as well because they actually allow you to activate spells following turn. So that's actually quite effective too, so you can get the extra spell effects later. Mask Change, that's for getting out, I believe, Dark Law. I haven't messed around with this yet either, but that's the main purpose. That seems to be about it for there. We are running the Field Spell Mountains, generic. All dragons gain 200 in attack and defense. Solid card. Red Eyes Fusion, so this is where our deck really takes off since we're focusing on the fusion summoned cards for the most part. So Red Eyes Fusion allows you to fusion summon from your deck, or your hand, I believe, and then just special summon out a Red Eyes monster. Of course, you cannot normal or special summon other monsters the turn you activate this effect. You can only activate one Red Eyes Fusion per turn. So you're using this effect as a really easy way to just play out the Red Eyes Fusion monsters. That's really it. You really want to use it after you've done other combos though, as that's the recommended way to do it. Red Eyes Insight. So send one Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Add one Red Eyes, spell a trap card from your deck to your hand. This is basically a search card. Except Red Eyes Insight, you can only activate one Red Eyes Insight per turn. And we also have Dimensional Prison. So this is our trap sections. These are mostly just basic traps. So stopping things from attacking us. That's pretty much it. Phoenix Chain, monster effects and attacking. Mirror Force, wiping boards. And then we get the Return of Red Eyes, which is kind of our recycler card again. Being able to pull cards from the grave, special summon them if we have Red Eyes on board. Anything, of course, Black Chick. You can only use the effect of Red Eyes, Return of Red Eyes once per turn, and that's completely fine. So it's pretty straightforward. Our extra deck, though, is where things get spicy. So we are running Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. This is our bigger card as far as it goes. This is, of course, one Archfiend normal monster and one Red Eyes normal monster. So that's why we run Summoned Skull, since it is an Archfiend card. And we run our Red Eyes card, use Red Eyes Fusion, summon this out. Really effective. And of course, the effect is absolutely insane for its value if this card battles an opponent's effect. Opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step, so avoiding card effects during damage is good. If damage calculation is performed involving a fusion summoned card, involving this fusion summoned card, at the end of the battle phase, you can target one Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that card, equal to its attack in the graveyard, then shuffle it into the deck. So, worst case, if you get this out turn 1, turn 2, depending on how you want to look at it, you're guaranteed to have Red Eyes, Black Dragon, in your grave, because you need it to summon this card. Inflict 2400, done. Straight up. That's all you need for that. Not counting any other damage calculation from this card, so you can actually get some decent damage off of it. Then we have Masked Hero Darkler, of course. Any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead once per turn if your opponent adds a card. This is really just some extra engine stuff, so yeah, you can add a card from the deck to the hand, except during the draw phase or damage step, you can banish one random card to your opponent's hand. Then we have Black Meteor Comet Dragon, our other Red Eyes Fusion card. This is where things get nice as well. If the card is fusion summoned, you can send one Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the original attack of that monster. If this card is sent from the monster card zone, sent from the monster zone to the graveyard. You can target one normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it, so that's okay too. Then we have Skyblaster Musket. This is really where we get into some basic Xyz monsters that we wanted to use. So if you can detach one Xyz from this card, target one face-up monster on the field, change the face-up defense position. You can detach two from this card, target one face-up, you can target, then target one face-up card on the field. There we go. Shuffle it into the deck. You can only use one Castle, Castel, the Skyblaster Musketeer effect per turn. Pretty straightforward and not bad. Not my favorite one though. Mecha Beast Fandom, Dragosack, if you've ever played Dragosack or no Dragosack, really solid card when you can get level 7s out really easily, and this deck does that pretty nicely. Great for removing things from the board and setting up some defensive tokens, and that's really all you're using this for. Silent Honor Dark, so number 101, really good card. This is great at removing something if you need it. It's a good 2100 beat stick as well. So detaching two to steal an opponent's monster and attach to this. This thing also can't easily be destroyed, so you can actually survive at least 2 destructions if you don't use its initial effect, or you can survive 1 destruction if you do, so it's really solid. Then we have the Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. This is the XZs for this one. This is of course similar to Dracosack, 2 level 7s. Cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has XYZ materials. While this card has XYZ materials, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, inflict 500 damage to your opponent immediately after it resolves. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, then target one face-up Red Eyes normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So really good, really solid. Ideally, you could just use this, summon it out, then you could regain one of the materials that you've just sent or were sending. Sorry, because yeah, it says you can detach one XYZ from this card and then target. So I would assume, yeah, you detach, target, resummon, you get another beat stick out. That would be a really good way to use this card. Now, the normal deck list only runs those 12 extra. I included 3 links as a decent engine for this deck. I'm running the 1 Argrave Dragon, since that's all I actually had in my resources. It's a solid beat stick, and it can take advantage of course, the inflicting... where'd it go? Sorry, inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each dragon. So, that's really good. Being able to just inflict free damage. It does require either a link monster that has at least a value of 2, or of course 4 monsters basically to get the link 4, but that's why we're mainly running 1. Otherwise, we got this, which is Wee Witch Apprentice. 2 dark monsters, our entire deck is dark, so that's fine. All dark monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense, and all light monsters on the field lose 400 attack and defense. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one dark monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. This is actually a really good cycle card. You can only use the effect, of course, of Wee Witch's Apprentice once per turn, but really solid. Really like this. It works really well. It's basically, you know, how you use your field spell to gain attack. Similar principle on what we're using this for. And it gives us 2 link zones to use if we actually need them to go for a nice fusion summon. So if we already have a couple of monsters on board, we could easily link into this, then use something like Red Eyes Fusion to special out our big beat sticks. So it's really good. So now that we've looked at every card, we're actually going to go through a couple of games with this deck, and that should be a little bit of fun. So we'll be back with those games. Alright, so I picked Taya Gardner as our first opponent, as I assume should be a reasonably easy one. She does have some tricky cards in the duel challenges, but overall she's usually alright to go up against. We will go second with this deck, since unlike the Blue Eyes one, which does still favour going second, I found that most of these decks do better going second because we get the first attack in, and we can kind of respond to their board. Plus, while our trap cards are nice, we're not that reliant on them. Although Master Hyperion on the first turn, whew, that's not looking good for us. And this hand, a rough one, that's for sure. Right, so we'll send a Red Eyes card. We'll send a Flare, why not? Red Eyes Fusion, because that's definitely our best option here. And we'll just set that and go for a fusion, why not? So use that Red Eyes Fusion to pull our big buster guy. Cool. Oh, I don't really want to send the one from my hand just in case I want to use him. Oh, there we go. Deck. Make sure I pick it right. Alright, there we go. Flare also works well because we can actually summon it off this, I think. Or, no, actually, maybe not. Either way, though, this should work well. So we go for our first battle phase. We take out the Master Hyperion. activate the effect so they can't activate things like Honest. Once we end turn, we get the extra effect here. We can go for that, so we will go for the Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon instead. It's 24. Cycle it back into the deck. Now we see what the opponent can actually pull off here. This isn't technically a Red Eyes monster, so there's no point activating our trap yet. Lightning Vortex, that's not good. This is where we're actually going to run into some trouble. Not having anything to actually play. Bricking your hand on these sort of turns is really awkward. If we can get a black stone, we should be alright, but that's going to be the tough one to pull here. Oh, that's okay. Keeper. It's still not the best card, but it's something we can actually set up here. See, this is only if you control, and then it's only if it gets destroyed anyway. So we can't really do much with it. So we'll go for the set here. I'm debating if it's just worth activating, but I don't really want to do that. Ah, screw it. It's just going to keep annoying me with prompts, isn't it? So if we can get a Red Eyes on board, we'll be okay. Alright, Herald of Orange Light, that's fine. They take some damage because it's 2100. Oh, here we go. Sinking. Powered Insectron. Let's go Synchro Summon's turn. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Also, you take no battle damage. Great for them, bad for us. Diamond Dude. So now we take the option. Do we go for the discard double draw, or do we go for Diamond Dude plus its ability? And then we probably just tune it off here. We go for that one. Like we can pretty easily use this. It's a pity we didn't get a spell, but that's alright. I feel like as far as our protection goes, this is going to be our better bet here. So Silent Dark, Xyz summoned. We can then use its effect, which means we can steal their card. Gotta remember that you gotta double click on this one. Some cards like the Red Eyes Fusion you actually select individuals, but other times you've got easy selections. And 21, not quite half of their remaining life points, but a good chunk. And they have one card in hand, one draw, so what are they gonna have? This is where things get interesting. Oh, nothing. That's a good sign for us. Now, the real question is how do we handle this? You can target one Red Eyes monster you control. And equip this monster from your hand or field. So, do we try and go for this Red Eyes summon here? I mean, we can then take advantage of the other one. So we might actually do that. Tribute off our Silent Dark here. Then we can go for the trap card effect here, which gives us the return. And that gives us the Red Eyes. Who doesn't want a Red Eyes summon here? And because we can, Red Eyes Black Metal, we'll just give this a buff to 3k. And we'll just hit them in the face. That is the Red Eyes deck. It's definitely reasonably solid and it does an okay job, so that's always good. If you guys do ever want to see more of these sort of decks, definitely hit the like button. Make sure to get this video as high as you can because it definitely shows that it's got some support. Our Blue Eyes video is actually the top viewed video on my entire channel by quite a margin, nearly double the previous one. So if this video can do just as well, I'll definitely be following up with a lot more Link Evolution videos and maybe some other heavy Yu-Gi-Oh videos. I've actually got some physical card game stuff planned, so if you are a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, definitely stay tuned on the channel because I've always been a pretty big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh myself and I wouldn't mind getting back into some of it a lot. So if you guys did enjoy it, again, hit the like button, subscribe, and until next time, see ya.